Welcome to the Amazing Devotions channel and welcome back to regular visitors. Please stay and be blessed by these daily devotions for men. A Legacy, the first in a classical series of men's devotionals, depicts characters of men from the Bible who represent men of today. Some succeeded while others failed. There are those who were strong yet some were weak. There is the spiritual and carnal. Kings, rulers, princes, and patriarchs, all of whom men can identify with. They all left a legacy, whether it was positive or negative. What is your legacy? Today's devotion continues from Exodus chapter 3 into Exodus chapter 4. In these two chapters, Moses learns that God can make a powerless man powerful. As God unfolds to Moses the prophetic mission of being Israel's deliverer, he is reminded of the injustices suffered by the people he left behind. At the peaceful and sacred scene on the mount, the great plan is laid before him. Those he left behind were his family and God's chosen people. He had escaped the bonds and torture from Egypt but felt inadequate, hesitant, and deficient to consider accepting the task. Moses' personal encounter with God was startling, but more horrifying was the proposed challenge of delivering Israel from the Egyptians. God assured him that he was the mastermind behind the mission, and Moses just the messenger. Moses' first excuse was, "Who am I?" He was thinking in human terms, and this was just the beginning of many lessons he had to learn. In response, God told Moses, "I am the one to free my people, but you are the vessel that I am going to use." God revealed to Moses that he might feel like an insignificant man, but when I am is through using him, he will be great. As insignificant and inadequate as you might feel, you can be magnificent when you allow God to use you. As if that was not enough assurance, Moses hesitated again, responding that he might be rejected. If Moses did not believe in himself, he could not expect anyone to believe in him. However, he was chosen because the most important person believed in him. When God believes in you, you can do anything. When God chooses you, you can go anywhere. When you feel that no one believes in you, God believes in you. To strengthen his faith, God showed Moses the power he could have with only a wooden stick in his hand. When God wants you to do something for him, he will place power in your hands to overcome your fears and doubts, power to penetrate all the obstacles that stand in your way, and power to complete his task. Obviously, there was no power in the wooden stick. The power comes from believing that God can do a work through you. Moses should not have needed any more convincing, but surprisingly, again he turned down the great I Am. At first, Moses trembled at the sight of God's presence with awesome fear. Now he is relaxed in his presence and has the nerve to resist God by making the worst excuse. Moses felt inadequate to deliver Israel because of his speech deficiency, and worse still to take a message to the Egyptian Pharaoh with a speech impediment. You might not be articulate or eloquent, tall as other men, or the brightest. You might be physically challenged or socially inferior. Whatever your deficiencies in life, God can perfect his work through the weakest and most faulty vessels. If you feel that you are too inadequate, hesitant, or imperfect to be used by God, you have no excuse. If God can use Moses, he can use you. Allow him to use you today. As my Father hath sent me, even so send I you. John 20 verse 21. Thank you for watching the Amazing Devotions channel. Today's devotion continues with lessons from the life of Moses, one of the Bible and world's greatest leaders. Come back again tomorrow for more amazing lessons from Moses. By subscribing, you won't miss any of these amazing devotions. Tell the men in your lives about lessons from amazing men of the Bible. Your support is very much appreciated.